Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm gonna be replacing the head gasket for the engine of the scooter, which is a Yamaha Xmax 125. It's also known as YP125R. So basically I've already taken out the engine from the scooter, as you can see over here. The reason I will be doing this rebuild is because I have found sludge in the engine when topping it off. Basically oil is mixing with coolant, and it has been also overheating lately. This job can probably be done with the engine still inside the scooter. However, I chose to remove it so it's much easier for me to work on and I can put it on the workbench. I will post a sneak peek over here as to what I found in the engine, and as you can see it was pretty messy. So without wasting any more time, let's start. We need to remove this exhaust, and these are some very rusty bolts, and I soaked them already in some WD-40. So let's try and remove them. Okay, so they came out pretty easily. Now we need to remove these bolts over here, which attach it to the swing arm. They are size 14mm. Okay, so now the next step is to remove this cover over here. So we're gonna expose the crankcase nut, and then we're gonna remove the water pump so we can see the camshaft sprocket. Yeah, I guess we need to replace also this filter over here. So now I've exposed the crankcase nut over here. So now we're gonna remove the water pump. Well guys, as you see over here, that is the issue that we have. That is oil mixed with water, and it's now sludge. So let's remove this water pump. Make sure that the notch on the sprocket matches this dent over here, while the piston is on top dead center. And then you can start removing the sprocket bolt.
start undoing the tensioner, which is held on by 2 bolts.
There's even more sludge in there.
Once the tensioner is removed, you can easily remove the camshaft sprocket. After that, you can immediately put a piece of string or a piece of wire around the cam chain so it doesn't fall back into the engine case. Over here I'm gonna put 3 marks on the crankshaft sheave assembly and another 3 marks matching on the engine case, so that is easier for me to know where is top dead center. And now I'm gonna remove the cylinder head bolts.
So looking at the cylinder head, the valves were getting rusted, so there was definitely water getting inside. The cylinder bore, I can see sludge over here where the timing chain sits, so somehow water leaked over there. And yeah, so I'm gonna clean up the gasket surfaces over here and clean up the carbon on the piston and clean up the valves and put a fresh set of gaskets and reassemble the engine. So I just undid the oil filter cover over here and I'm gonna see what's inside.
This is how the oil looked when I removed the oil filter.
Ooh. So now I have cleaned all the parts. There's no more pieces of gaskets left. As you can see, the water pump housing over there, the tensioner, the cylinder bore. I have also honed it. As you can see, there's the crisscross pattern now. The cylinder head, I have cleaned the valves. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put on a fresh new set of gaskets. Also for the water pump, I have cut one out myself because there wasn't one locally available, so I had to do that. So yeah, let's go ahead and start assembling the engine back. apply a new gasket for the tensioner over here. So after installing everything lightly, we're gonna torque the bolts down. So these two bolts over here, they are 10 Newton meters. This bolt over here, it's 30 Newton meters. The tensioner bolts, they're 10 Newton meters. And the bolts for the head, they are 22 Newton meters. Okay, so now I've cleaned up the water pump and put a new gasket in. Just gonna install it back here on the camshaft sprocket. After that is done, I'm gonna go ahead and do a valve adjustment, since the engine is already at top dead center and it's now easily accessible. So now the water pump has been installed. I've torqued down everything to 10 Newton meters. So now I'm gonna do a valve adjustment. So the inlet valves should be 0.10 to 0.40 millimeter, and the exhaust should be 0.22 to 0.26 millimeter. So now the engine is fully assembled, as you can see over here, and it's ready to go back into the scooter. I've assembled the engine back into the bike now. I've filled it with 1040 oil and also with some coolant. I'm gonna start the engine right now to make sure that it works. So now that I started the engine and I know that it works, there are no funny noises or anything, I will go for a short test drive so that I know that it's 100% working correctly. The only thing that I still need to replace is the thermostat, which is located right here, over here. I've already ordered it from the Yamaha dealership, so it's gonna take 2 weeks to arrive. And once that arrives, I will do a separate video on that, on how to replace the thermostat. That will be all for now. Thanks for watching the video and I hope this has helped you. If you like the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.